Shalom, this is Avraham Shira. Welcome to our Erev Shabbat talk. A couple of hours from now, Shabbat will settle upon the state of Israel, from the land of Israel, and it will spread across the globe as the earth turns, and rest and peace will reign on those who choose the rest and the peace of Shabbat. Rabbi Nachman teaches that the purpose of Shabbat is rest, it is pleasure, it is taking stock in your creation for this week. This week ends a new creation. Next week is a new creation. What will be, will be. What was, well, when we have Shabbat, we can look back and enjoy our week. The ups and the downs, the surprises and the disappointments, and the pleasure of appreciating ourselves, appreciating our efforts, of looking at our lives and saying, well, I did that. That was a good thing. And I did that this week. And, you know, it's the little things that come together to create a very solid, strong sense of one's holy self. Because all the good you do comes from your divine soul. And all the not good we do, that comes from the lower, what's called the animal soul. So part of our work in this world is to connect what we call good to that divine soul. We do good deeds all the time, but how many people say that good deed was just sent to me from the source of creation, and I was the right person in the right place to do that good deed? That's a divine thing. That elevates my concept of what I do. That I realize that my good is God. And my not good is where I've missed the mark. So where do I exist? In the middle between those two. You are the captain of your ship, your spaceship, and you get to choose divine self or animal self. And Shabbat, of course, is the chance that we get to experience that pleasure of self through looking at what we've done. Did you call your parents this week? Did you call your children this week? Those were good deeds. You might not look at them that way, but they were. And did you connect properly with appreciation for your neighbors, for your fellow employees, for the strangers that come by your house? All of those moments have a spark of good in them. The Baal Shem Tov teaches us that two people, when they meet, they automatically exchange a spark of goodness. Now, it is our job to give it and to receive it. And to give and to receive are great skills. And they're not something that we necessarily learn growing up in the fixed way that they can be performed. Because when you really give, you feel as if you've received. And when you really receive, you feel as if you've given. And so this paradox or apparent conundrum really tells us that we've connected to the system of creation, that giving and receiving are both the inverse opposite. And so when we sit at the end of the week and we look back and we're grateful for that what we did do, I'm grateful that I got up. I'm grateful for the exercise I did do. Maybe it wasn't enough, but what I did do was good. I'm grateful to be here learning Torah with you. I'm grateful to be able to go to see my children on Shabbat. And all those tiny little moments of gratitude actually build to this tremendous sense of well-being. That whatever's going to be in the world, and we know what's going on in the world today, can be looked at as some of the most dangerous things we've seen in maybe decades, maybe forever. We don't know yet what's going on in the outside world. And I can't control that. I can pray for it. But what I can do is experience the good now. And it's not being a naive, foolish person who doesn't look at the not good. It simply means I choose to attach my mind to the good, and the not good, well, it will move on like it always does. And I can acknowledge it, and I can accept it. It exists as part of a greater good that I don't always see. So Shabbat is that time where Oftentimes you'll see when Shabbat comes in, you'll get all these thoughts that rush into your head from the weekday. I'm like, I don't want to be with those thoughts anymore, but rather those thoughts are coming to be elevated. They're not coming to clog your brain. They're coming to elevate your consciousness. So that the things I did this week are like, okay, clear me out, send me up. Because all thoughts are coming from a much higher place than consciousness itself, right? Our thoughts are coming from that, what we call that divine spark. And that divine spark is coming from a place way beyond the physical body, a place that is, if we touch it once in our lives, we will not be the same. Because when you touch your divine essence, you're touching a spark of God that comes in your shape, in your size, and your color, and your permutation of energy. So understand, we all contain a spark of the same divine light, but each person is different. So at the same time, we're happy to live this paradox. We're all the same at the root because we're all from Hashem, and yet we're all different because our vessels are different. And we can embrace that paradox, that we need to be different, that we need black skin and white skin and yellow skin. We need blue eyes and green eyes and black eyes and brown eyes. We need all the differences. We need people that are happy to sit and to guard the grocery store. It's very sad that we need guards at our grocery stores, but okay. And we're happy to have engineers sitting at the top of the skyscraper figuring out how to keep this thing from falling down. We need everybody where they are, where their skill set is. And those skill sets are also given to us by Hashem. When we can come to this level of appreciation, then we can pause at the end of the week and say, a done week. It's over. We did it. We did the best we can. We'll do better next week. And it's good enough. And then I can go into Shabbat with a clear heart, a pure mind, and begin a new week, a new creation. And when we do that, things don't get so heavy. And the news doesn't get you down as much. And when the phone rings, you don't jump, nervous, anxious. What could it be? And you have this force field of goodness between you and the world. And you feel safe. And you feel at peace. And this is the goal. And we've been trying to reach for that goal in our meditation series on Patreon. Check that out if you can. We're going to upload another Shabbat meditation soon for everyone on Facebook and all the platforms. Because when we meditate, we're actually making our learning more integrated. We're bringing it down from the mind into the heart and into the body. So it's enough to meditate, but not really, because we want to live that level. We want to bring light back from the upper world to the lower world and integrate it into this world. So meditation is part of that integration process. So is prayer. So all of these things together, prayer, meditation, learning, are to bring God's presence into this world and to be okay with that. And not to be ashamed to be religious or to be ashamed to be Jewish or to be ashamed of anything that has to do with God. Because there's a great force out there of negativity that wants to label and respin the metaphysical truth that's been driving this universe for thousands and thousands of years. And when you hit that spin and you see the people that smirk or laugh at you when you bless, when you bless God on a bottle of beer, or you bless God because, you just heard that something good happened to somebody, and they smirk and they laugh, you shouldn't feel ashamed. You should feel sorry for them because their imagination is so small that they can't conceive of a creator that accompanies his creation. And it takes a great imagination to put these concepts together into a whole symbiotic oneness. And that's why we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Because when you experience the oneness, you cannot deny it. But the people who haven't experienced it, they want to deny it. They say, no, you're just a crazy religious fanatic. And they just haven't experienced the oneness. And they don't give it the proper names, if they do. But when you have the experience, then you have something that is yours forever. I want to bless everyone with the oneness of Shabbat, with the oneness of yourself. You are made of many layers of self, but they're all bound together by that divine self. And I want to bless your families to be together in that joy of being together, and your communities and all the nations of this great world. And we'll be together next week on Patreon, on YouTube, on Facebook, and we'll continue this process because it's a new creation next week. But we're going to say goodbye to this creation now. We're going to enter Shabbat, and we're going to celebrate that. God bless all of you. Shabbat Shalom. See you soon.